Hi, Scorpios. This is Faith, the Chorus Divine Faith Tarot. This is going to be your reading for March 1st to the 15th. If this resonates, leave me a comment below. If it doesn't resonate, then you might want to check your other moon or rising sign. If it don't resonate, I don't need you to tell Tom, Dick, Harry, and Bob why it don't resonate. Okay, just move it on. Okay. And also, hello, Scorpio cross watchers, because I know you're fucking watching. Okay. And for those of you that don't know what a cross watcher is, which is weird, but anyway, a cross watcher is pretty much you're watching a sign that could be of your partners, or it could be of somebody that you're like. Pretty much you're being a stalker. Let's just call a spade a spade. Hello, stalkers. I'm just kidding. Okay, but anyway, do what you do. Oh yeah, thank you to everybody that's subscribed and shared and liked my channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys who've been watching me and who are still watching me. Hello. I hope your lives are going fantastical. Okay, but anyway, the first card we have, Scorpios, is we have the Four of Pentacles, or in this deck is the Four of Shields. Oh yeah, also the deck I'm using is called Celtic Tarot by Christopher Hughes, just in case you were wondering. I did get it from Barnes & Nobles, and it was like $33 after tax. So just in case you guys like it and you want to get it, there you go. But anyway, Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles is a card that represents some of you Scorpios could be dealing with the Earth sign. Some of you Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Some of you Scorpios possibly could be hanging on tightly to something that may no longer serve you. But also at the same time, the Four of Pentacles is like one of those cards where it's like you're working on accumulating wealth whenever it comes to like career and finance and business. You're working on accumulating wealth that is going to help you become more successful. You know, so it's almost like in a sense, let's just make an example of building a house. You're working on laying your foundation. We're working on laying your foundation until you get to the point where you're just like, look at this beautiful masterpiece that I've created. And that's what okay, I tried to get Ziggy because for some reason he's in this video. I don't know. But yeah, Four of Pentacles. So, yeah, what did I say? It could represent hanging on to something too tightly. Okay, but this also could represent some of you Scorpios could be guarding your wealth this month in terms of money, because maybe extra bills are starting to come in, or something possibly could be happening to the point where you feel like you have to safeguard your possessions, safeguard your money. Somebody could be asking for money that you're really not trying to pay out. That could be a thing, okay? Oh boy. On top of the Four of Pentacles is the Devil. The Devil card, I'm getting a sense somebody, Scorpios, could be asking for money within these first 2 weeks, and somebody's going to catch a full-blown attitude with you because you're not giving them some money. But also this could possibly represent some of you Scorpios could be dealing with a Capricorn, or this could represent you could be dealing with somebody with a bad fucking attitude, especially when it comes to money, whenever it comes to finance. But this also could represent some of you Scorpios could be possibly hanging on to a career that is just toxic for you, or not really financially as beneficial as you think. Okay, but also it can represent some of you Scorpios are possibly hanging on to a sexual partnership that you know you need to fucking let it go. Okay, and some of you guys are possibly just hiding money because you don't want to spend it. Okay, that could be the thing. But in other news, it could represent some of you guys are possibly hanging on to a toxic situation that you know you need to let go of, but for some reason you're not letting go of it. And this could be a situation that you've possibly been dealing with for the last 4 years. Okay. Hold on. Let me get another. Let me put this here so I can shuffle these cards. Clarify the Four of Pentacles and the Devil. I have the Four of Pentacles and the Devil here. But the Devil doesn't always necessarily mean a super, super bad card. Sometimes, depending on the cards that are like clarifying it or surrounding it, it can represent a sense of possibly a getting into a relationship that could possibly lead to marriage. So, I don't know. And maybe that's a situation why some of you Scorpios are hanging on to somebody. Who knows? But we'll see. Clarify the Four of Pentacles and the Devil. But that is a one-off situation, by the way. Clarify the Four of Pentacles and the Devil. Some of you Scorpios are afraid to let go of this person because you're afraid to be alone. Let's be real clear here. Clarify the Four of Pentacles and the Devil. Okay, we got the Two of Wands and we have the Strength card. Okay, Two of Wands and the Strength card could represent a sense of the Strength card represents a sense possibly that some of you Scorpios, in a sense, are dealing with somebody who possibly could be a Leo, or this person has Leo in their chart, and it's a twin flame connection. I believe it's the Strength card, and then there's another card I can't think of. They're like strong indicators of almost like a karmic soulmate, but it could represent a good kind. But in this sense, the Strength card could also represent a sense of needing to forgive, possibly needing to forgive the past. Okay, but again, I feel it represents a sense that maybe some of you Scorpios are wanting to get back with someone, but you're holding on to the past. You're possibly holding on to the things that this person has said to you. You're possibly holding on to the toxic shit that has went on in between you guys, even if it was years ago. Okay, but I do feel like it's a sense some of you Scorpios are hanging on to something from the past, and I feel that it has mainly to do with maybe how this person made you feel. But I think I saw another card that was going to come out. Right here. Some of you Scorpios are hanging on to a third party situation, or just hanging on to heartbreak that maybe this person put you through. Okay, and for some reason, like I said, you might want to get back with this person because I feel like you haven't really let them go, but at the same time, you haven't gotten to that space where you're able to forgive them for the things that has happened in the relationship. Okay? Now, next to the Four of Pentacles is the Hermit card. The Hermit card could represent a Virgo. So some of you Scorpios, the Earth sign could be possibly a Capricorn, or it could be a Virgo. Okay, this card represents a sense of you feeling possibly alone. That's why I say here, some of you Scorpios could possibly be afraid to be alone. So some of you guys are staying in a relationship that has been past its due date. Okay, you're still drinking the spoiled milk like that shit ain't gonna put you on the toilet. I'm just saying. Okay, but anyway, the Hermit card can represent, again, also a card that can represent hanging on to the past. But it also can represent, like I said, you isolating yourself, you possibly feeling, just alone. It's almost one of those things where some of you Scorpios could possibly be in a situation where you're tired of trying possibly to make this situation work, or vice versa. The person that you're dealing with could be tired of making this situation work because they feel like you won't let go of the past. But the Hermit card also can represent that you need to spend some time alone so that you can gather your thoughts on what you want to do with this relationship. So I do feel Scorpios, for the first couple weeks, that you're just going to feel kind of bland when it comes to emotions. So try to keep your emotions in check. Also, I would say try not to catch any attitudes whenever it comes to money, because shit's going to happen, period. There's shit's going to happen that possibly could be out of your control, okay? Now, I am getting a sense some of you Scorpios, or possibly some of you people that are dealing with Scorpios, they're going to have to pay out some money whenever it comes in terms of their bad attitude. So maybe somebody possibly has court situations or court matters that involve possibly domestic violence, domestic abuse, or disturbing the peace, things like that. And somebody has to pay the fine, or they can do the fucking time. Okay. But also somebody's holding on to an addiction. That could be a thing as well. Okay. But here we go. On top of the Hermit, we got the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles represents a sense of you clinging on too tightly. And I really feel like this just represents the past. Some of you Scorpios are so stuck in the past. It's just like, my goodness. The damn past is so far up your ass, you just can't see straight. And you don't want to let it go. And it could be a sense you don't want to let it go because maybe something traumatic happened between you and this person. Even if it didn't, maybe it was an argument that possibly went too far, and it's hard for you to let it go. It's hard for you to forgive that person for it. It's almost in a sense some of you Scorpios are maybe putting all the blame on them, or the other person is putting all the blame on you. Like it just don't take two people to tango. Okay, just saying. But the Four of Pentacles represents some of you. The Four of Pentacles and Hermit, I feel like represents a sense some of you Scorpios are going to be in isolation because you could possibly be hiding from something. Or maybe some of you Scorpios feel like that, if I stay in the house, then I don't have to spit out any money. which is crazy. But I just feel like there's something that is owed that you Scorpios really don't want to pay. Okay, and it might put a damper on your pockets, and maybe that's what's going on. Okay. Next to the Hermit, we have the Four of Cups or Four Cauldrons. This can represent some of you Scorpios could possibly be dealing with a Cancer. Now, some of you Scorpios, your past partner was an Earth sign, and maybe your current partner or current situationship is with a water sign, another water sign like yourself. Okay, and maybe it's a sense that you're still hanging on to a past Earth sign for whatever fucking reason it is. I don't know. You're all over the place this month. Okay, but the Four of Cups does represent the sign of Cancer. It does represent a sense of regret. The Four of Cups can represent a sense of somebody feeling not appreciated. This could be you, Scorpios, or this could possibly be the person that you're dealing with or want to deal with. On top of the Four of Cups, we have the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles represents a new beginning. The Ace of Pentacles represents a partner that you guys work well together as a team. It's like one of those situations where you and this partner work better together than you do separately. And maybe that's why you can't let this person go. But at the same time, it's like you want to move forward. You want to have a better beginning with this person. But for some reason, you're still consumed by what has happened in the past. It could have been something that happened in January. It could have been something that happened in September. Whatever it is. I got a lot of fours. So I do feel like, Scorpios, you've been dealing with somebody for 4 years, and it's just been possibly a rocky road. But what ain't rocky these days? Okay, but this also can represent that some of you Scorpios feel like you're not being paid what you're worth whenever it comes to your job. You feel like that they're trying to bullshit you on the back end whenever it comes to paying you. You're paying you what they owe you. Okay. But I do feel that like I said, some of you Scorpios or possibly your partner could be a sense where somebody's not fully appreciating what you guys have. Okay. And like I said, what you guys have could be a foundation where it's like, you know what? We work really fucking well together. You know, we could change a tire in probably a minute flat. Whereas other people sit there and argue about it for almost an hour. It's just one of those things where it's easy, like I said, for you guys to work together, which is, I feel like that's a good thing. But if you're letting all the other negative stuff over trump the good stuff, then this relationship just ain't gonna work. Okay? Next to the Four of Cups, we have the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords represents a sense of somebody being cold and distant, somebody being shut off with their emotions. The Queen of Swords is one of those queens where it's like she's cold because she's possibly had a cold past, or maybe she's cold or he's cold because of the dynamics of a relationship with a mom type figure. Okay, it can go anywhere at this point. On top of the Queen of Swords is the Five of Swords. Yeah, somebody is shut down. Somebody is cold and distant because possibly the arguments, the conflict, the drama. It could be the drama, but it's almost a sense somebody is shut down because they're just tired of the arguing. It's like, you know what? We're not getting anywhere. So I would say you need to be very careful within March period because it is Mercury retrograde. Communication is going to be at an all-time low. So if you keep in mind that communication needs to be of a bigger focus this month, then I would say you need to keep that in mind. Like I said, Mercury retrograde, communication is all over the place. Mercury retrograde starts on the 4th and don't end until April. So you have to survive almost a whole 5 weeks, possibly of bad communication. But you can make it through. Okay? Next to the Queen of Swords is the Judgment. The Judgment can represent dealing with somebody from the past. The Judgment can represent that during this time, Scorpios, it may be time for you guys to self-reflect on maybe what you want. Self-reflect on maybe what you need to fix. You know, also, I feel like it's a sense some of you Scorpios are involved in a situation where this person brings out stuff in you that has to be worked on. You know, where you get in those relationships and then you get in another relationship and you're like, damn, I didn't even know I had this type of problem. That type of relationship where this person brings out inner issues that need to be resolved or you can't move forward. Okay, so I do feel like it's a sense you and this person have a past life connection together. This person could very well have fire in their chart. I did pull the Leo card. They could possibly have fire in their rising, or it could be fire in possibly their Venus or Mercury, whatever it is. Okay, but the Judgment represents a rebirth. So there will be a rebirth of some sort, Scorpios. I mean, you might have to wait to the second. Might have to wait to the second part of March, but it'll happen. On top of the Judgment card, we have the Seven of Swords. Now, the Seven of Swords can oh yeah, by the way, some of you Scorpios could be dealing with an air sign too, a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or this person has air in their chart. Same difference, okay? But the rebirth and the Seven of Swords could totally represent a sense of somebody from your past, Scorpio, could be trying to sneak back in to possibly maybe ruin what you already have going on. And I feel like it's the sense that if you don't be careful, your ass is going to get caught in the middle of in the middle of traffic. Okay. Be careful. Okay. Cause the Seven of Swords is about sneaky energy. The Seven of Swords is about possibly cheating, could be conniving. It could also possibly represent somebody running off of something of yours, possibly a thief. I would say be careful. But I do feel like it's the sense that this could possibly represent somebody from your past, Scorpio, could come back in and they can leave as quickly as they came in. Okay. Let me clarify that just to make sure, but I'm thinking that's what it is. It's almost like you're seeing somebody leaving in the middle of the night. Maybe you and this person live together and somebody's gonna be like, you know what? I can't take this shit. I'm packing my shit and I'm moving. Okay. Clarify the Judgment and the Seven of Swords. Clarify the Judgment and the Seven of Swords. Judgment and the Seven of Swords. Too many cards. Judgment and the Seven of Swords. Judgment and the Seven of Swords. Oh, okay. Woo, Scorpio. We got the Four of Swords. Yeah, I feel like it's a sense mentally, this can represent a sense that maybe you get to a point, Scorpios, where you finally can move on from the past and lay the swords down to rest. But also this can represent somebody coming back from your past possibly to just gain closure over a situation, and then they're going to move on. But this also can represent that some of you Scorpios could be deciding to possibly move on from this person mentally, because maybe you just feel like you're not being fulfilled. Okay. Next to the Rebirth card, we have the Tower. The Tower represents a blessing in disguise, whether you want it to happen or not. The universe is saying that, you know what? These Scorpios are not listening. So unfortunately, I have to get out my whooping belt and have to go down to earth and beat some ass. And then I can come on back up to my throne and sit here and see how they're going to handle what I just did. Okay. Like I said, the Tower can be good or bad. I would say try not to look at it as a bad thing, because regardless, there's something in your life that has to go. Okay. And this Tower card can represent you, period, Scorpio. Tower can represent Scorpio, by the way. On top of the Tower, we have the Nine of Cups. Guess what the blessing in disguise is? You and this person are going to work it out. Things are going to become better. Might not become better until September or your birthday month, or not for 9 weeks. But this represents the past coming back from nowhere. Okay. But this also could represent some of you Scorpios could be dealing with somebody who you feel like you might have fucked it up with. Okay. And it's almost like a sense where you want a second chance, because the Rebirth card does represent a second chance. You want to redeem yourself when it comes to this person. And guess what? You better count your lucky stars, because this person is open to you doing that. So, Scorpios, what's at the bottom of this deck? Ten of Wands. On the bottom of this deck, we got a Ten of Wands, and that represents you're getting to the end of your healing, which is good. The Ten of Wands also represents a sense of feeling overburdened and possibly needing support. Okay, but at the end of the day, I feel like it represents you're getting to the end of your healing. So, Scorpios, you're going to be dealing with a whole bunch of emotional shit you don't want to deal with within the first 2 weeks of March. So, you might as well go ahead and bite the bullet, okay, sip the tea, and sit back and just let it ride, Clyde, because there's not much you're going to be able to do about this one. Shit is going to happen that you need to deal with that you keep postponing. Okay? Yeah. So, yeah, Scorpios is a little rocky, but in the end, you'll be okay. So, this has been your reading. I hope it resonated with you. If it did, leave me a comment below. Otherwise, I'll talk to you later.